You know, I like a good slasher or monster movie as much as the next guy, but my favorite kind of horror movie is a psychological thriller where the monster is a human. Someone you wouldn't look twice at if you walked past them on the sidewalk, but if you locked eyes with them, you might just catch a glimpse of a monster, or see a cold, calculated killer, or just see the insanity in their eyes. The type of movies that serves almost as a character study unfolded through the eyes of their victims, or person of authority trying to bring the monster to justice. Those types of movies are much more frightening to me because it's more of a tangible concept for a movie. There are cannibals out there in the world. There are serial killers out there. There are crazy, fanatic people with delusions of parasocial relationships. I enjoy the movies that explore the depths of human depravity. If you enjoy these kinds of movies too, then I've got a recommendation for you. The subject of today's video, 2014's Creep. Creep is a found footage movie from first-time director Patrick Brice, who also co-wrote and co-starred in it, along with Mark Duplass, who is credited as a co-producer, co-writer, and co-star. Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions also had a hand in its creation, so this movie was in good hands, considering Jason Blum was one of the people behind Paranormal Activity, which really sparked the found footage craze of the early 2000s. The budget for this movie was reportedly under $500, so I can only assume that this was just a passion project for Brice and Duplass, so I think it really shows in the movie with their performances. Before I break down the movie and spoil everything, here's a quick plot synopsis. Patrick Brice's character Aaron takes a job off of Craigslist. The job is to record Mark Duplass's character Joseph for a day. Everyone knows the dangers of taking jobs on Craigslist, so you can probably guess where the movie goes from there. The movie starts off in classic found footage fashion, with main character Aaron filming himself driving to his destination. He's just explaining to the camera what he's doing. He doesn't know exactly who he's meeting. The ad said $1,000 for the day, and discretion is appreciated. Which honestly, that discretion is appreciated bit should have been his first red flag. He reaches his destination and walks up the stairs to the door and gives it a knock, but nobody's there. And he's not answering his phone.
Okay, no answer and no voicemail, so that's good.
He pans the camera around, surveying his surroundings, when he notices the woodcutting axe. Now, if you look around, there's no piles of chopped firewood, so that's another red flag. He decides it's best to wait in the car when this happens.
Which is...
Hi!
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh, it's okay.
Now, first off, bullshit. Yeah, I didn't mean to scare you. Fuck you. No. Second, Aaron has the situational awareness of a fucking goldfish for this guy to have got the drop on him like that. And finally, get your hand off my car. That's obviously a classic car. To me, I take that as disrespecting my personal property.
This is an 81 Honda! How dare you!
Anyhow, they make their introductions and Joseph is already very awkward.
Joseph, oh my god. Oh my god. This is gonna be a good day.
No, it won't. Joseph opens up the car door for Aaron and tests Aaron's personal boundaries again.
I feel like we should just do this right now because at the end of the day it's gonna be normal, so just...
Oh, okay.
And he has to make it weird.
Trust me, that's not gonna be anything weird at all.
They go up to the house. Joseph shows Aaron around the house a little bit and explains that it's his family vacation home. After a minute, he finally cuts to the chase and explains that he's a cancer survivor, but the cancer came back and he's now got a brain tumor the size of a baseball, and that he's only got a couple of months left to live. His wife is pregnant with their first child, and they don't know the sex of the baby yet, so he's just been calling it Buddy. So Aaron's job is to just document Joseph for his unborn son.
I hope you're up for it.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that shit-eating grin. But trap has been set, and fucking, he's got him. He hands him his money, further sealing his fate.
You ready for this?
Okay.
Alright,
do it.
I'm gonna go get in the tub.
The tub?
And this is the point where I personally would have given his money back and just left. Fuck that. But this guy loves to test Aaron's boundaries, and I guess Aaron is desperate for money.
We're gonna go a lot deeper places than this.
He's already gone a lot deeper than I would want any man to go.
Gay!
He proceeds to explain how, when he was little, his favorite time of day was called tubby time, when his father would give him a bath. And since he might not have a chance to give his unborn child a tubby time, he simulates one, which is pretty weird, especially if you take in the fact that, you know, he's full of shit. This is pretty weird.
Now, let's get those tootsies wet. You ready? Get those tootsies. Oh.
So yeah, pretty fucking weird. Anyhow, he lays back and puts Buddy on his chest, and they watch the fire from the candles together. Again, if you didn't know that this guy was full of shit, it would be kind of sweet. Cuts to a somber moment where Joseph is thinking about just ending it, because why wait?
Could you?
Aaron, rightfully so, starts freaking out, calling for Joseph, and then he pops out of the water and scares him, which is just a pure dick move. He apologizes to him and explains that it was just a joke and that he's got a weird sense of humor. But you know, this was just him testing Aaron again to see what he could get away with. And I guess Aaron accepts his apology. So they decide to go out for some fresh air.
Go outside or something and get some fresh air. Would that be good? Yeah.
So they're getting ready to go outside, and Joseph asks Aaron to go get a heavier jacket from the guest room closet when this happens. Now, I can't judge too much from this. I mean, I do have like 5 Halloween masks hanging above my computer setup in my office right now, actually, so. But out of context, that is pretty creepy. He explains that that's just Peach Fuzz, a character that his father created, and it even has a little song and dance, which I'll spare you most of it.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up.
So yeah, pretty cringe. Also, not to mention that mask does not look very old, and, you know, if his father made it, it would be pretty old. Cut to them in the car, and Joseph is driving, which I just have to stop right there. That's a big no-no. I mean, number one, nobody drives my car but me. And number two, especially if I was in Aaron's shoes and going off into the mountains to meet someone I didn't know, there would be a firearm in the side of that door, and I'm not letting anybody come in between me and that firearm. Now, if I was to let someone drive my car, I would grab the firearm from the side panel of the door and either put it, you know, like on my belt or in the glove compartment, and I'd let him see it, so that way kind of establish a don't fuck with me boundary, you know. But then again, I believe they're in like Washington or Oregon, I don't know. I looked it up, both states are actually open carry, so there's no reason why Aaron wouldn't have a gun. But just fucking saying. I could also see Joseph being like, "What, you don't trust me?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't know you." as simple as that, you know. But I could see Joseph leveraging the fact that Aaron has to keep recording him. That would make more sense for him to be sitting in the passenger seat while he drives, but still, I wouldn't have stood for that. Now, anyhow, Joseph wants to go for a hike to this legendary body of water.
A body of water out here that has something to do with the heart, but apparently only those who are pure of heart can partake of it. So anyhow, that is what we're going to find today.
Cut to them hiking, and Joseph is a little too far for comfort. Aaron catches up, and then all of a sudden Joseph just takes off like a bat out of hell for no reason.
Joseph?
Yeah, no, I'm noping out of there. That guy can just rot in the woods. I don't care. I'm stranding him. But Aaron goes to look for him. Yeah, no, fuck this guy. I'm leaving him in the woods. I mean, supposedly he has cancer. Who's to say it's my fault if he expires in the woods? He even adds insult to injury by, like, showing Aaron his own face.
All right, you're a little mad. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay, Aaron. Joseph is like, you just had a near-death experience. This is what it feels like when you feel like you're gonna die. Just emotionally manipulating Aaron.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. Thank you.
He goes on by saying there was a second after he scared him that it looked like Aaron wanted to kill him, saying that there was an animal inside him. Little peach fuzz inside you yet. He starts asking serial killer questions, like if there's anyone in this world he needs to make peace with. Pointing out the axe that he had at his house and asked him if he thought he might kill him with that axe. Aaron responds to that question by saying, yeah, but I didn't know you. Which, Aaron, you still don't know this man. You've known him for less than a day.
You did? That's great.
At this point, Aaron's getting worried that they're lost and asked if he remembers how to get back, and Joseph is like, no, I don't remember. But then he hears the sound of running water and he's like, holy shit, and he takes off running again. Except this time, Aaron catches up with him and Joseph tells Aaron to point his camera down where they find the heart spring, what they've been searching for. So they go into the healing waters and they're just two dudes being bros. Then Joseph has to make it weird and etch their initials on a rock with a heart on there.
Gay!
While whistling the melody of the Peach Fuzz song from earlier. Which I feel like he was thinking really hard about killing Aaron here. Joseph asks Aaron if he's still hungry, so he takes Aaron to this diner he claims that him and his family went to all the time. Cut to them sitting in the diner, and Joseph opens the menu and says to himself, what's good here? To which Aaron calls him out, asking, didn't you say that your family used to eat here all the time? And Joseph is like, no, they just changed the menu, which is bullshit. And he's starting to slip up. Joseph asks Aaron if he's ever done anything he's really shamed about, which of course Aaron says yes. And so Joseph asks if he wouldn't mind telling him about it. So Joseph takes the camera and points it at Aaron, so that way he can tell a story of when he peed his pants in grade school in front of everybody, and just retelling that story, expressing that that was really the first time he ever felt shame. Joseph thanks him for sharing that story and asks if he can have a turn. Aaron takes the camera back from him as he pulls out his phone from his pocket and shows him some pictures from it.
That's me.
Yeah. I took pictures of you.
Aaron asks him why, and so Joseph takes a moment to think about it and says he was nervous before he came up, and he felt that if he got to know Aaron before Aaron could get to know him, he would be less scared. And then he proceeds to apologize, stating that he's very ashamed of himself and that he hopes that they can move past it. Now this next scene, I'm just gonna let it play so that way you get the full weight of the awkwardness and the subtle pressure that Joseph is putting on Aaron.
Okay.
Okay. No, it's a little weird, but I'm past it.
No, Aaron, you're not past it. But he says it's fine.
Thank you.
Now, Aaron just got emotionally manipulated, like, really bad just now. That's a tactic that, like, psychopaths use, bringing up something that the other person did in the past that's bad or shameful or whatever, to make themselves look better before they confess something bad that they did themselves. And then they ask for forgiveness immediately, especially if it's a heavy subject like what Joseph just did to Aaron. And Joseph, to me, just kind of looks like, I got away with that. They get back home late, and Aaron's decided it's finally time to try to get away from this guy but Joseph offers him a glass of whiskey to commemorate their day and celebrate. Aaron, of course, is resistant, but he caves in and decides to stay for one drink. Now, there was a time in my life where you could tempt me off the edge of a cliff with a glass of alcohol or whiskey or whatever, but not anymore. And especially not in a situation like that, where I just want to get away from someone.
This is great, huh? Two guys having some whiskeys.
Yeah, normal guys don't talk like that, but for whatever reason, he offers Aaron some money, which Aaron doesn't accept, and at this point, Aaron's ready to get the hell out of there, and Joseph is doing all he can, pulling out all the stops to try to get Aaron to stay.
I lied to you.
What about?
Personally, at this point, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd have been like, alright, whatever, I'm out. See ya. But Aaron takes the bait, of course. He says he lied about Peach Fuzz, and then he asks Aaron if he can keep a secret, and it's something he wants to get off his chest before he dies. So he asks Aaron to turn off the camera so he can tell the story. Of course, Aaron doesn't turn off the camera and keeps recording. He confesses that he did something really bad, that he found a bunch of animal pornography on his wife's computer. So him and his wife came up to the cabin one weekend, and he pretended to get called into work that Saturday. He went to the 99-cent store and found that mask, the Peach Fuzz mask. And they came back 3 hours later while his wife was asleep, put the mask on, tied her up, and had non-consensual sex with her. So Aaron's looking for his keys now, and he can't seem to find them. Joseph is like, did I freak you out with my story? Which Aaron's obviously like, no. But he's still trying to leave, and Joseph convinces him to stay the night because, you know, he doesn't want to risk a DUI. So Aaron pours them both a drink, and Aaron slips a little something into Joseph's drink.
Bottoms up? All right, if you say so.
So Joseph's out cold. Aaron decides to search his pockets for his keys. Aaron answers the phone, and it's Angela, supposedly Joseph's wife, who actually turns out to be his sister, and she's like, there's no cancer, you need to get out of there, give me the address, and just start walking, and I'll get you a ride, basically, is how that conversation goes down. But he hangs up because he hears Joseph walking around. He checks around the house, but he can't find him, so he decides to take a look outside.
Death.
Joseph is outside having an existential crisis, saying he doesn't want to die. And he's all crying, and he gives Aaron a hug. But Aaron's not having it because he knows that Joseph's full of shit now. And he tries to barter for his keys. He says that he talked to Angela.
Talk to Angela.
Yeah, no. If I was in Aaron's shoes, that's the point where I'd either jump off the porch and just start walking towards the road, or go into the kitchen, find a knife, and defend myself if I had to. But he decides to walk down the stairs, and that's where he sees Joseph wearing the Peach Fuzz mask, blocking the door. Aaron asks him if he's gonna let him go. He asks him if he's just trying to scare him. Aaron says that he's terrified. Joseph starts growling and gyrating his hips.
Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it!
Cut to some footage of Joseph burying some trash bags, which you're supposed to believe that that's Aaron's body, but it's not.
Okay, so a little context here.
He explains that after he had his little fight with Joseph, he just ran off. He doesn't know where Joseph went to. But he made it home. He had to get his car towed, and he thought it was over until he got a DVD in the mail, and that's what we were just watching. But he decides he's just gonna throw it in the trash and pretend like it never happened. Later that night, Aaron wakes up from a dream about him as a baby, and Peach Fuzz is giving him a bath in blood. It's weird, but you know, whatever. In the morning, he finds another package on his front door. He's a little hesitant to open it at first, but when he does, he finds a knife and another DVD, which he pops in to watch. Joseph starts off the video by apologizing about the last video he sent him, and he thought he'd send him a gift to clear the air between them. He says he assumes that Aaron has the knife and the DVD, but if he hasn't found the third item, he encourages him to pause and look deeper. He discovers a stuffed wolf deeper in the box. He resumes the video. Joseph states that he loves wolves because they love deeply.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
But they don't know how to express their love, and they're often very violent and tend to kill the things that they love. He brings up the time they scared Aaron in the woods, saying that there was murder in his eye, but he wants Aaron to embrace his inner wolf. So he encourages him to take the wolf and take the knife and to murder the wolf. He goes on to say some serial killer shit by saying when you stick a knife in something, there's all this beautiful stuff, which is fucking creepy. But anyway, he says he left a surprise in the stuffed wolf form, and he caps it all off by saying, "See you soon, buddy." Aaron rips open the stuffed wolf and pulls out a heart-shaped locket with pictures of him and Joseph.
Gay.
He decides it's time to call the cops, and he's on the phone with them while he changes his locks, but they can't really do anything about it because he doesn't know Joseph's real name, where he lives. The cabin where they met was just a rental, and he also doesn't have a way to contact Joseph, so the cops can't do anything for him. He wakes up later that night because he's still having that same nightmare, but then he hears a bump in the night.
It's like they push up. But you... Okay.
He turns on all the lights and grabs a knife, but he doesn't notice Joseph just standing there in the doorway. He hears the noise outside and goes outside to investigate. He doesn't see anybody or anything on the sidewalk, so he goes around the back of his house and finds the trash knocked over, to which he blames on raccoons, which, if you've got an active stalker, never assume anything. Aaron is just quite simply not as paranoid as he needs to be. Camera starts rolling, and it's picked up and put into Aaron's face, and then put back down. Then Joseph takes a lock of Aaron's hair. He has a couple of normal nights, but after a couple of days, he wakes up to another DVD on his windowsill. He goes to pop it in, and Joseph is like, "Hey Aaron, I understand why you would throw away a grave digging video, but this was harder for me to accept," showing the locket. Going on to say that when he found it in the trash can, it broke his heart. But it was right of him to throw it away because they're not friends, and that their relationship was based on lies that Joseph had made up, and he's sorry about that. He says that this is his attempt to be real and honest with him, and the truth is that he's been pretending his whole life, and he doesn't have any friends, and he's burned every bridge, his sister, his parents. He has nothing, and he needs someone to talk to, and he's hoping that his kindness is huge, and he has no reason to trust him, that he'll give him a chance to talk, and at the very least explain himself to him. But he's gonna be there. It's a public place, doesn't have to be afraid of him at all, and he just wants a chance to show him who he really is, because the truth is, he's a lonely person, and he really needs a friend. And caps it off by saying that he's the only chance he has, which is another narcissistic tactic.
How am I supposed to do this? Look at him. He's so sad.
Come on, Aaron. He's so sad. Nah, he's a stalker. You know, there is such a thing called suicidal empathy. You gotta take your emotions out of it sometimes and look at the situation. This guy you just need to cut him out of your life. Like, he's gonna kill you, dude. Like, fuck. So Aaron goes to the park and meets up with Joseph, and they just sit there and talk things out, and that's the end of the movie. Wait a second. Peach Fuzz. Let me check my notes real quick. Ah, yeah. This was an alternate ending. Let me show you the real thing. So Aaron has his camera, I'm assuming on the dash of his car, and he's like, alright, I'm here, but know that I'm filming this, and he has his phone on speed dial for 911. So he takes a big sigh and then walks his happy little ass down to that park bench and sits down and waits. He's just sitting there waiting, and Joseph comes up behind him. He puts on his Peach Fuzz mask and gets his axe ready, raises it above his head. Now, I do have to give a content warning because the sound that comes from the axe making contact with his head will make your skin crawl. It'll give you the heebie-jeebies, so viewer discretion is advised. Sorry, I couldn't help that edit. But seriously, if you watch the movie, that sound will kind of haunt you for a couple of days.
Keeps getting better.
So yeah, now it's Joseph recording, and he's reviewing his work, stating that he remembers the first time he watched it, and he thought to himself, it was smart that Aaron had filmed it, and it was smart that he put his phone on speed dial for the cops. But why didn't he look behind him? It just seemed dumb that he would just sit there. But then he realized why he didn't turn around. It's because he's the greatest person that ever lived. No matter what he did to him, he believed that he was good and that he would do him no harm. That is why he will always love him, and while he'll always be his favorite of them all. So yeah, overall, it was a great movie. I kind of feel like it's what happens when someone who loves to push boundaries meets someone who doesn't have any boundaries. Because that's just kind of the way Aaron came off as, just a pushover. I mean, he ignored so many red flags. And, of course, Joseph was the type of guy to take advantage of a pushover and ultimately, kill him. But I also think in Joseph's mind, he had consent to kill Aaron, because like he said at the end, Aaron believed that Joseph meant him no harm and that he believed that there was good in him. Also, just by virtue of Aaron ignoring all of the red flags, I mean, Joseph was all but saying, like, hey guy, I'm gonna kill you. I'm pushing all your boundaries. If you don't tell me anything, if you don't set any boundaries, I'm gonna do what I want. And that's what happened. And to me, I think that was consent for Joseph. Like, that's in his mind, that's what that meant. That's the way I see it. But yeah, the making of this movie, like, we'll get into it a little bit, but Mark Duplass kind of seems like he was born for this role. Like, he was great in this movie. Just the awkwardness that is him, really. And another crazy thing is, this movie had basically no script. It basically had like the bones of the story. Like, this happens and this happens and this happens, and most all of this movie was ad-libbed by Mark and Patrick. So I mean, dude, those two pulled it off. I gotta give it to them. We'll get into more of the making of the movie in the interview section, which is about right now. So, Patrick Bryce used to babysit Mark's children, and that's how they met, and they hit it off and figured out their chemistry, and that's kind of how they played into their characters for the movie, because they had real life chemistry, and I think it shows in the movie. But Here's some clips of them talking about how they met.
Patrick's girlfriend at the time, it's like 4 or 5 years ago, was our nanny. They first moved to LA looking for jobs. He was just out of film school. And so we would just hang out in my kitchen and friends with my kids, and we became buddies and realized very quickly that we had like a shared sensibility, what we found funny, what we found awkward. We love kind of odd people. We're people watchers. And then we started talking about what if, you know, we use that seed of Patrick's personality, which is so great at like being drawn to people, how much he loves people, maybe in the case of Creed, needs people's, you know, affection. And then we took something that's in me that I've kind of struggled with personally, what I'm interested in is like what I call the president of the student council mentality, which is like when I walk into a room, I'm one of the kinds of people who knows how to shift my personality 10-20% to get what I want, or to maneuver a little bit, like, you know, that thing that in an extreme sense is sociopathic, you know. And so we're like, well, let's just blow that up 100% and put it into Joseph, and then put these guys in a room together, and this could be really exciting. So that was really the genesis.
Yeah.
So yeah, these two guys know each other, and they have some good interpersonal chemistry. And what they were saying about taking parts of their personality and turning it up to 11 is kind of confirms my opinion on the movie, where it's like, you know, you have Joseph who takes and takes and takes and pushes and pushes and pushes, and Aaron who just gives and gives and gives and is just a pushover. And that's what happens. So anyway, Mark Duplass mentions how he had an idea for another movie where his character has cancer and he's filming himself for his future newborn, which thankfully he scrapped. But he used that idea and put it towards Creep, which I think is a pretty cool idea, pretty cool thing. You know, it worked out.
I had this idea a while back about this guy who gets cancer and films himself in a hotel room, and it's just a one-person movie, and I thankfully abandoned it because it was going to be too boring.
And yeah, I had mentioned that they basically had no script, but they had, like, you know, the bones of the story. So here's more on that.
The way that we set about making the movie was like, we didn't have a script. We didn't have. We had a 5-page outline essentially that we were basing the whole thing off of, and
which was how specific?
Scenes with a little bit of a structure.
Yeah.
Like Joseph takes Aaron upstairs and says, you know, I want you to film me giving a tub to my unborn son because maybe he'll never get to see it.
But then once we got to that scene, it was just essentially me rolling the camera and Mark going with his performance.
And how much performance was there that we didn't get to see? Are there 20 other improvs that were...
There's a lot of stuff there, I would say. And certain, you know, there's a long history of how this movie was made, because what happened is we set out to make a movie called Peach Fuzz, which we shot in 6 days, and we edited together, and that represents about 50% of the footage that's in the final film, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, and it was meant to be more of like kind of a dark comedy, you know, and kind of a sweet dark comedy. And
about strange people who kind of find each other.
Yeah, it was about a connection between these two guys. And then once we started showing that to people, I mean, we showed that to people in its worst iteration, basically its worst, like the rawest form we had. You know, it was kind of just what we were able to put together after our initial production. And then the things that people were responding to were the more the horror or thriller elements to it. You
Intention.
know,
So creepy was the response?
Yeah, the response was creepier, and we resisted that a little bit, in the same way that, you know, I wanted my daughter to be a tomboy, you know, and so I had designs on what I wanted her to be, but she came out calling for princesses. Yeah. And once I let her go get the princesses, everybody got happy. Yeah. And once we started to obey what this movie was begging us to do, and to be reckless and have fun with it, it got so fun. Yeah. And the movies, people started really responding to it. So we you know, it was interesting. Like, we kept going back and shooting scenes and bring them in. And, okay, let's keep these two and throw that one away and then go back. So we shot for a year and a half, you know.
It was very clinical, you know, like going back and literally doing a whole reshoot where we would just shoot one single moment, you know, in the movie. Just, it was a game of inches where we were, you know, the film was slowly getting better and better as we moved along.
So that's pretty cool how they did it, and that's their artistic process, which honestly I can relate to, because that's kind of how I do these videos. Is I have a basic idea, structure of how I want to do it, and then I just kind of ad-lib it. Like the beginning of this video, when I was doing the intro about other horror movies, that is quite literally the only script I've ever written for any of my videos. So, I mean, I'll just say it, like, whatever works. So in conclusion, here's Mark talking about the conscious decision for them not to have a theatrical release for Creep and to just drop it on Netflix instead, which honestly, I respect it.
And we made a very deliberate, conscious decision. Part of it was part and parcel with my deal with Netflix, but it was like, okay, how important is it to us that Creep gets seen in the movie theater, you know? And let's just be honest as consumers, when Jurassic World and Inside Out and Mad Max and Magic Mike come out, should we be asking people to pay $12 to see Creep instead of those movies? And the resounding answer was no.
So yeah, that's about all the behind the scenes and interview stuff that I think y'all can handle. Apparently it was supposed to be a movie called Peach Fuzz. I'm glad they didn't go that route and they embraced the horror elements of it and decided to go the direction that they did with this movie. Yeah, I think it worked out great. So anyway, here's my outro. In conclusion, this was a great movie. I highly recommend. Even though I just spoiled the hell out of it. I didn't include everything. I didn't include like all the minute details, of course, in their performances, which again I praise. It's worth your time. It released on Netflix, but I believe it's still up on Amazon Prime, which I'll put a link to it. Also put a link to the interview that I showed from was it DP30? Yeah, definitely go and check them out if you're interested in movie interviews and that sort of thing. I started working on this video pretty much about 2 weeks after I finished up and uploaded my Sweetheart review. I'm working like 60 hours a week, and most of the time, like when I'm not working, I'm away from the computer. I have my fiance, we're spending time together. You know, life's great, but I really don't have time to edit and make these videos. I do this as a hobby. I enjoy this. I like to talk about movies. Now, I mean, obviously I'm still playing video games, but live streaming, not so much. I'm not the type of creator where it's like I can talk and be charismatic while I'm playing a video game. I think I've learned that, and I think these type of videos better suit my personality and being able to refine what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna keep doing videos like this, and if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that fun stuff. My next video is gonna be Creep 2, which it's even better than this one. This is one of those rare franchises where the first movie is great, but the second movie is even better. And then there's an HBO series called The Creep Tapes. I believe it's 6 episodes so far. We'll get into that after Creep 2. So yeah, lots to look forward to. A lot of stuff I want to do. A lot of movies I want to cover. But just not enough time in the day for me. But I'll get it done eventually. Alright, well, if y'all made it this far, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day.